Man, shout out to Dante's Boxing Nation.
DBN Nation, of course. Support DBN Nation. You're hearing it from Floyd Money Mayweather.
It's Terrence Crawford, and you're watching Dante's Boxing Nation.
This is Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder, and you're watching Dante's Boxing Nation, baby.
Hi, you're watching Dante's Boxing Nation. Woo! Hey.
If you know, you know. And if you know Errol Spence, then you know a fight he always wanted was a Canelo fight. I remember the time when Dante interviewed Errol Spence for the first time, and Errol Spence stated one fight he would gladly move up and wait for is a Canelo Alvarez fight. Now, Fight Hub interviewed Errol Spence today, and they asked him the $1 million question: how would you fight Canelo Alvarez? He stated he don't know that yet because obviously he's fighting Sean Porter, not Canelo. But he did state that Canelo Alvarez, he get tired, that he has more win than a Canelo Alvarez. So if they do fight, he will definitely explore that. Funny enough, when I made my video on Errol Spence versus Canelo, I stated the same thing. You see Errol Spence, on one hand, he throws 1,000 punches a fight. Against Mikey Garcia, he threw over 1,000 punches. Meanwhile, you got Canelo Alvarez when he fought Trout. I remember him gassing out by the 8th round, and he started throwing like 5 punches a round after that. So the fact that Canelo Alvarez get gassed out is going to be a problem for him in the future. We'll see if a Charlo or an Andrade is able to get to Canelo before Errol Spence does. But if Errol Spence actually beats a Charlo to a Canelo fight, it's kind of messed up. And it will show that Canelo would rather take on a fighter that's much smaller than a fighter around his division, which is Charlo or Andrade. Now, that being said, as far as Errol Spence versus Canelo Alvarez, even a blind man can see that Canelo Alvarez is going to have plenty of advantages, which is weight, hand speed. I believe Canelo might be a little faster than Errol Spence. However, they both combination punchers. They both dig the body. I just believe Errol Spence is way better doing so, and he's a way better inside fighter than the Canelo Alvarez. But I believe Canelo Alvarez defense is as good as Errol. Errol relies on parrying punches and blocking punches more so, and Canelo Alvarez, on the other hand, he relies on his upper body movement and reflexes and countering in the process. So they have different styles, but what Errol stated, the fact that Canelo, he is big, but he's not that big. He's stocky, but he's as tall as Errol, even though Canelo Alvarez fights at 160, and he's about to fight Kovalev at 175. That being said, he only has a weight advantage, not a height and reach advantage on an Errol Spence. So the fact that he doesn't have too much height and reach advantage on Errol Spence, Errol feels very comfortable of fighting Canelo Alvarez, and he just doesn't see the size as being a huge disadvantage for him. Now, that being said, that's a huge mega fight. If Errol Spence is able to clean out the 147-pound division, move up and clean out the 154-pound division, and then fight Canelo, I mean, the sky's the limit. Talking about being a superstar, he's going to be a megastar if he's able to do so. The only problem, he has a Terrence Crawford in the way. I believe that's his toughest fight from 147 to 154. And the fact that Crawford has it all, from hand speed to power to IQ to foot speed, and that's something Canelo Alvarez lacks. I mean, Errol Spence could dance circles around Canelo Alvarez because of his slow feet. However, Crawford, that's more of a 50-50 fight in my opinion. The only thing that makes a Canelo Alvarez versus a Errol Spence very intriguing is the fact that Canelo Alvarez has a huge size advantage against the Errol Spence. Because if they were the same weight, it'd be a different story. And as far as who's a better fighter and who's looking more dominant, I mean, just look at Errol Spence's brain at 147. He's destroying everything in his path. Meanwhile, Canelo Alvarez, let's talk about his reign at 154. When he fought Trout, when he lost to Floyd, when he lost to Lara, in my opinion. However, he got the win, but it was a close fight regardless. The Trout fight, it was a knockdown that gave Canelo Alvarez the win, really. It was that close of a fight. So my point is, if they were the same weight and fight in the same division, we would be having a different conversation here. However, the fact that Canelo Alvarez is fighting at 175, his next fight, while Errol Spence is still at 147, that is a huge factor, which makes the fight a 50-50 fight. So subscribe below if you're trying to get smarter by the minute. If you're trying to get dumber by the second, don't listen to these casual fans. Check out my new show, Split Decision. We just dropped the first episode. It will be dropping every Monday at noon. It's on Aki TV. All the links will be in the description box below. Click on the notification bell to get notified every time we go live. Follow Lunatoon Boxing for the funniest boxing memes. That's my guy. And make sure you click on the notification bell to get notified every time we go live. Now, that being said, we'll see if Errol Spence is able to dominate Shawn Porter, and the way he will, we'll get a better gauge on how will he handle certain fighters, because nobody have been able to dominate Shawn Porter, let alone stop him. You know, you could say whatever you want about Shawn Porter, but one thing for sure, when he fought Keith Thurman, when he fought Danny Garcia, he beat Danny Garcia in a close fight, and he lost to Keith Thurman in a very, very close fight, and one of the fights of the year. And even the Kell Brook fight, it was a very, very close fight. However, Kell Brook was allowed to hold like 100 times, which nullified Shawn Porter's offense. That being said, if Errol Spence is able to do something that no one has been able to do to Shawn Porter, then that will reconfirm that Errol Spence is the truth. And at that point, we'll see if Manny want to fight an Errol Spence, or maybe fight the guy who received the biggest ass whooping of the year, Mikey Garcia, or maybe even a Danny Garcia. Now, it's very important how Errol Spence look, because if he get hurt or look vulnerable, he might hit the lotto. Yeah, it might be a bad look, because, you know, everyone have this high praise of Errol Spence, but regardless of that, he might land or have a better chance of landing the Manny Pacquiao fight, because we all know how Manny Pacquiao rolls. As soon as Keith Thurman looked exposed against Lopez, he fought Keith Thurman. So at the end of the day, or at least the night, we will be tuning in, we will be watching the fight, and we will be covering the fight. So check out my new show, Split Decision. Appreciate all the love and support. Subscribe below, follow DBN. All the links will be in the description box below. Peace, and we out here.